Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, when or wherever you may be. Now, I have three videos regarding the, the testifier of Secretary of State of the United States of America, Marco Rubio, before the House Foreign Affairs Committee. I am using three videos, and since some people have said that I was using exclusively Euronews reporting, today I'm going to use Forbes. As always, the links of the videos, they will be provided in the description. I urge you to please go to the site of the provider of the video. I urge you to like their contents, to give them your view and your feedback, because it's their contents, okay? As for this video, it will not be monetized. My channel is not monetized, and even if by any chance it is, I find it hard because sometimes I speak about political issues that are shadow banned by YouTube. It's one of my battle horses, so to speak, is to not shy away from hard topics, not shy away from hard words, and not shy away from having or trying to have an unbiased opinion about issues. So what I'm trying to tell you is I'm not earning 1 cent by presenting these videos. I'm not stealing contents from anyone, and this is purely for informative purposes only. Now, before we start to talk, I would like to watch the video with you. This one is about Senator McBride inquiry of Mr. Rubio. I find this video interesting. I will explain it to you why after we finish listening to him. But first, let's watch the video and then we will talk about it afterwards. Now, let's go.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Secretary, for joining us today. Like you, I attended the Munich Security Conference earlier this year, and in a meeting that I had with several European prime ministers and several of your colleagues within the administration, your colleagues recognized that NATO is both bigger and better funded today than it was 10 years ago. And I am fully willing to admit that that is a byproduct of several factors, including Putin's aggression, previous administrations, and indeed a byproduct of actions by this administration and this president's first term as well. But I want to focus in today on statements and actions that I believe go beyond pressuring and leverage and actually fundamentally undermine the foundation of NATO. On January 21st of this year, in the president's speech in Davos, he said we, quote, never got anything from NATO. 2 months later, the president said on Truth Social, speaking of NATO, they will do nothing for us. Mr. Secretary, do you share the president's assessment that we, quote, never got anything from NATO?
Well, I think what the president was speaking to at that moment, and was what I'll speak to you about now, is one of the reasons why I've been such a strong supporter of NATO is because they allow us to use these bases, because it allows us in a time of contingency, like the one in Germany and others. And for the first time, we see NATO countries denying us the use of their bases, which undermines the purpose of our involvement.
These statements, including the one we never got anything from NATO, happened before the war in Iran, which falls outside of the Article 5 invocation. It falls outside of a war of defense. Do you share the president's assessment that we, quote, never got anything from NATO?
I share the president's assessment that on issues that are a priority to the United States.
I'll take that as you disagree with his assessment that we never got anything from NATO, because, Mr. Secretary, let me reclaiming my time, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, I'm asking very specifically about a specific quote. I'm not asking whether NATO can be better or reformed. I'm asking if we never got anything from NATO. And I want to specifically ask you, Mr. Secretary.
Well, why are you asking me if I can't answer?
You're not answering the question that I'm asking. You're answering a different question about whether NATO can be better or reformed. And so I'm going to move on, Mr. Secretary. Are you aware that the only time Article 5 has ever been invoked is after 9/11 in defense of the United States?
Of course I'm aware of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are you aware that more than 1,000 Europeans died in the subsequent war on terror that was invoked
They
after.
participated in the Middle East, correct?
Yes. And I assume you're aware that the NATO ally that lost more service members per capita is Denmark?
Denmark, I thought it was that the UK had suffered more.
More per capita.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. And I assume you're aware that Greenland is indeed part of Denmark.
For now.
Okay. Well, I want to focus in on Greenland. I joined the bipartisan bicameral.
I'm just interrupting to make sure that you heard what he said. Are you aware that Greenland is a part of the Kingdom of Denmark? The answer of Mr. Rubio was, for now. This is important.
Trip to Copenhagen as the administration that you're a part of sought to seize Greenland. In the president's speech at Davos, he said, referring to Greenland, quote, "You need ownership to defend it." Mr. Secretary, does the United States need to own land within NATO to defend it?
And the truth be told, we are actually involved in conversations with Greenland and Denmark on the use of Greenland for collective defense for all of us. It's a key part of missile defense, but we're involved in those talks right now. So I think we're in a good place on it now. But I don't want to put stuff out there in the public record that would undermine the conversations we're having with them on it.
So specifically, I'm not asking about whether we're going to do more within Greenland for our collective defense. I think all of us share that goal, including Denmark and Greenlandic people. But does the United States need to own land within NATO to defend it? That's what the president said, and that was the justification for those statements and the attempt to seize Greenland several months ago.
The president's view is that it's a lot easier to defend it when you have control and complete control of it. We are obviously having conversations with both Denmark and Greenland. They're ongoing on a monthly basis now. I think we'll have pretty good news on it at some point.
I take that as you disagree with the literal words of the President of the United States. And I want to put
I think
a finer
he's right.
point.
If we owned it, it would be easier to defend it. But
That's not what he said. He said you need to own it to defend it, which fundamentally undermines the central tenet of Article 5 of NATO, which states that the parties agree that an armed attack against one or more of them in Europe or North America shall be considered an attack against all of them, and if such an armed attack occurs, each of them will assist the party or parties attacked. So sitting here with, I'm sure, many leaders across Europe within NATO and many leaders beyond, including Vladimir Putin, potentially watching the words and listening to the words that you are saying, can you reassure our NATO allies and make it clear to Vladimir Putin that if a NATO ally is attacked and Article 5 is invoked, that we will defend them?
The United States is still in the NATO alliance, and we'll be there in Turkey to talk about all these topics. The president himself will be attending the next NATO meeting of heads of state, where all these points will be made clear. We're still in NATO, but NATO needs significant changes, and the president has made that clear.
And he's
very disappointed in NATO.
Representative Self is recognized.
All right, let's start from the end. United States is still in NATO. Did you hear what he said? He said still. So he is assuming that there is the possibility of not being in NATO. I'm also going to talk about those conversations because, you know, I happen to follow the news. I don't just sit idly by and I turn on my camera and make some shit videos to claim that I am very smart and that I know everything. Okay? When I want to know something, I watch the news. I watch more than one news source, and I can tell you those negotiations are bullshit. The negotiations are simple as this. The United States already has bases in Greenland. You can use them for NATO purposes only. So you don't need any access, any ruling over Greenland. What the United States, however, wants is to steal the land from the Greenlandic people and from Denmark in order to be able to explore Greenland as they have explored and exploited, the correct word is exploited their own country and countries across the world. like they are exploiting Venezuela, like they are exploiting absolutely everything, because that is the nature of the predatory American policy. It's no different than the Russians. It's no different from any kind of those predatory states. United States basically today is a predatory state. It was already a predatory state in the past, but at least it still had a varnish of, let's call it legality, and also it before this it also had a varnish of a compromise. Right now, zero compromise, imperial policy. And then Mr. Rubio, like all of the people in the Trump regime, probably, think we're just going to sit by and let them do whatever I'm not going to swear, whatever the hell they want. And I wanted for you to watch this video with me, you know, because words are extremely important in showing the concepts. This person was unable to deny what his president has said. He was unable to say if he agreed or did not agree. They do not answer a question straight up. And why is that? I'll tell you what is that. This is called lying. Okay? This is called lying. When you ask a question to a person and that person is unable to answer you in a clear way, a very simple question, then you have lies. It's the first symptom that someone is lying, is when they are unable to give you an answer. Even if that answer is, well, I don't know, the president said that, but I am unsure of it. I don't know if I agree or not, but this is my job as the secretary, and I have to obey or comply with whatever the president tells me, because this is my job. This would be an absolutely honest question, honest answer. Okay, you can say that you cannot answer that. Okay, or that you might not agree, but you are not there to agree. You are there to perform a job, and you were appointed by a president to do the job in that way. But no, which tells me another thing. This person is an accomplice to the same things that the president is supporting and presenting to the world. So to me, they are the same. I think this question about Greenland is extremely important, because you see, in number one, Greenland is of the Greenlandic people. I don't care if they are little people in the names, in the sense of numbers. If there are few people, if there are a lot of people, that is their country and that is their land. And they are also a part of the Kingdom of Denmark. Denmark gave autonomy to the Greenland people because of the crimes Denmark committed in the past. And if you don't know this, you go and watch a bit of history, you go read a book or watch a video if you don't like to read, whatever. But you are going to understand this, and you are going to understand why Denmark is structured in such a way. It all has a logic behind it. It all has a reason behind it. What is important for you to understand is this: Greenland and Denmark are a part of NATO. The United States is a part of NATO, and the United States cannot threaten a member of NATO. And if they leave, well, they will be threatening us all, including Canada. This is as simple as that. And to watch a president say what he said, and then to watch this person, a Secretary of State, saying this, what can we say about it except it is shameful? I don't know. You tell me in the comments below. Well, folks, thank you very much for watching the video, for listening to my words, and I hope to catch you all in the next one. Stay safe.